minimal equipment.
Minimal equipment.
It just shows you what you can do if you believe in yourself. Like,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
it's incredible.
It's just, guys, my biggest message to you would probably be just to start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first recorded podcast.
Nice.
I'm here with a very special guest. His name is, well, you can introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Andrew Brown.
So a bit of backstory. Andrew and I go back to primary school. Grade 1, I think it was.
Yeah.
Were we in the same class, actually?
We were throughout primary school in a few classes every now and then.
Yeah. But we played cricket.
Yeah, we played all
basically.
sports, cricket, football, everything.
And then you went to a different high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was a swimmer and all that during primary school. You guys, like you yourself, used to do all the sports. But I focused more on swimming.
Yeah.
And from that, I got a scholarship to Crawford. So I probably would have gone to Rampart High. You were Rampart High.
Yeah, I was at Rampart.
So I would have joined you there, but fortunate enough to get a scholarship at Crawford. So yeah, we just took the opportunity. My sister was going there as well because she just got a scholarship for swimming. So yeah.
So you're obviously a swimmer. I want to dive into that a bit.
A dive, hey, okay.
So we're gonna dive into that. Were you serious with swimming? Like, are you still serious about it?
Yeah. So ever since, like we say, we go back a bit during primary school. I was always serious about my swimming, but when you're that young, you love all different sports. I love to play all different sports. I was always that outdoor kid, you know. But as I got older, then I used to focus on the swimming a bit more.
Okay.
Especially more towards like grade 7 and that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just did everything, and swimming actually helped for other sports. Like I got far in cross country, like past districts or wherever it goes.
I remember.
And I didn't train once. I actually hated cross country.
As everyone does in
Yeah, I
primary
just did
school.
that just because I was good at it, and the school kept pushing me to do all the sports. So I did that. Swimming helped with it, and as I got to grade 8, I did a bit of tennis and all that, but I still focused on the swimming, and then from grade 9 just full in all swimming, because you kind of got to choose. You can't at that age, once you get older, you can't just go half-hearted. You can't do like a bit of tennis and a bit of swimming and that, because swimming very time consuming. Like,
Okay,
it's
so
crazy.
I wanna touch on that point. So you decided that swimming was kind of your calling. Like you felt like that was the sport you could get the most the most return on.
Yeah, so I'd put all that work into it already. It is definitely a sport that, even though I was doing other sports, I focused on a lot more.
Okay.
I took it a lot more seriously, swam for the school, for the club, all of that, and yeah, I just took it from there, and the results definitely showed like where swimming was at. Although I could take other sports further, but I didn't put in, let's say, the same amount of effort. Like I said, cross country and that, I didn't even train. Just use my swimming fitness. Cricket, obviously, we would train. But yeah, I just took that further, and just I guess the passion is what drove that decision.
Yes. And you still swim to this day.
Yeah.
So do you want to speak a bit more about your kind of swimming journey? Because it's very interesting, obviously, because you like on the cusp of like Olympic times and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's quite a long journey. I've been doing it for 13 years, same club, same coach.
Is that at Ramberg?
Yeah,
The
so
Ramberg
Ramberg Virgin Active there. Some of you guys watching this may see us training there. Hearing our
it's
coach
very
whistle all the
interesting.
time. Yeah. But yeah, so I took it a bit more seriously. 13 years. It was a very tough journey, I'm not going to lie. The morning trainings, getting up 4:30 in the morning, go do a training set, go to school. We're talking around like high school now. I started morning trainings in grade 7, but high school, waking up, training, going to school, and then you're tired, bro. Like waking up that early, having a hard training set. Like there's one thing waking up at 4:30, but waking up at 4:30 and then really like pushing your body to the edge is
So-
like something completely different, I find.
So when you say pushing your body to the edge, what was kind of some of the training sessions that you had to endure?
Very hard training sets. They swap and change. Different coaches and clubs just have their
Okay.
own kind of sets. But when I say like how hard they were, it's like I would get to school in the morning and there's stairs. Walk up one flight of stairs and I would sit there like,
And you did.
and I would be out of breath from just walking up one flight of stairs.
Yeah.
My friends look at me like, bro, you're meant to be this fit guy. What is happening?
Yeah.
But my body was so fatigued and tired that that's just what happened. And then
Yeah.
you had to concentrate whole day of school, and then straight from school back to training again.
You're crazy.
So honestly, it was a really tough journey. So then straight off that swimming, don't forget, then you must do homework, study for tests. So it's just
100%.
full on day, and you're just working the whole time. Your body's extremely sore, you're tired, the moods, bro.
Can imagine. I can
I'm
kind
not
of
gonna lie,
relate to you.
Yeah, I was a miserable kid at school, probably. Anyone that knows me at school, I'm sorry. I was just exhausted, you're miserable.
You still are now.
Yeah, well, I'm still training, so I've got an excuse now.
So there's a bit of a correlation.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was just school, so it was a really tough journey. You have to, I think, go through it. Like we would get personals, like a free lesson. I would go to the library and sleep.
I see.
But at the same time, your body is so sore and you're in so much pain, aches and this, that a lot of the time I couldn't actually fall asleep because my body's too sore. And my body's so used to waking up early, it's like I would stress that I would oversleep.
And then,
with
okay.
our coach and that, there's no such thing as oversleeping and this. I would have 4 alarm clocks set, no jokes. Just to make sure I don't miss my alarm clock because, I mean, yeah, our coach is really like hard like that, and he refers it to like jobs, like would you ever be late for a job interview, Although a job interview like my argument is a job interview comes every once in a while, and then swimming's every day.
Every day.
But yeah, but that's what comes with swimming. Like it teaches you so much, the discipline, and I'd never look back on it. Like I sacrificed my whole childhood. Like I wouldn't always go out to parties, go like a lot of the time we got invited to the ice rink. I couldn't go because it's during training. So many things, like holidays, I get left at home by myself. Like I had to grow up quite quickly, looking after myself and this, that, because my family would have a holiday house. They would go to the dam for the weekend, all for holidays and this, that, and I have to stay at home because I got training.
And just speaking, when those call it like the training effects hit you on your body, and you were feeling like you're dead and you can't continue, what kind of drove you to keep going? Because obviously it's very easy, like during those times, to just be like, yeah, you know what, that's not worth it. I'm just gonna pull back. So what actually got you through that?
So a lot of it's not for everyone. A lot of people did at that stage, like good friends of mine, like say, nah, they're done with this. They call it quits. But for me, I think it's the type of person you are. I feel personally I've got a strong drive and determination, so to achieve. So I think that's what really pushed me through it.
Okay.
And once you're in it, I find you kind of like in it. If I know that might sound very simple and like almost like it doesn't make sense, but once you're in that mindset, you know what it is. The easiest way to explain it is it becomes a lifestyle.
So I'm gonna touch back on there from that mindset. So do you believe that mindset was something you were born with, or did you have to develop it throughout your childhood, or was it instilled in you in like people you followed, or was it people around you that helped you form that mindset?
Yeah,
or
that's a very good question. Personally, I think you're born with it a bit. That comes with your personality, but your personality can be influenced by your surroundings and what you listen to, books, teachers, family, all of that. So I think it's definitely something you're born with and your personality, but it's definitely something that can be influenced as well, and you can build on and develop on. Because I mean, people turn their lives around. There's people that go from being drug addicts to Hollywood famous. Little Mike Milak reference there. But yeah, so that definitely shows it's a mindset as well. So guys, it's never too late to switch, flip that switch and really switch on and achieve what you want to achieve. That's that mindset.
Literally what I'm trying to
get at,
progress. And then that's the first, in my opinion, that's the first step. To take that kind of leap of faith into basically I can't fail. Like I'm gonna do everything possible, no matter how tough it gets, to get through. And obviously this can be adapted to your industry. So you did it for swimming, and now moving onto a bit about COVID, and you had a very important date for swimming that you were trying to work towards. Do you want to speak about that and how
definitely.
COVID kind
affected
of
it? So I was working towards Olympics. Like we said, I had
the one that's coming now, the Olympics.
Yeah, so it was 2020. It was Olympics 2020.
This year,
Beforehand, when I was 11, I'd represented South Africa, got chosen for South African team. And then again in 2015, I swam in Italy for South Africa. So there was always that goal of trying to make Olympics. My training partner, Brent, he's a lot closer than I am to qualifying for Olympics. But I'd never, this past year, obviously I'd done all this training for 13 years, but this past year I've never put that much work and effort into something. The training camps we all went on, everything. So I was really determined to try, give it my best shot at Olympics. When I say that, Brent was like a few splits off. In 2016, missed by a few splits. I'm a few seconds off now currently. So he is a lot closer, but the training and the work I put in, I just needed that one big swim to qualify for Olympics. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm borderline Olympics. You know, I needed to put in a big swim to make it. I did have a chance.
But you've had those big swims before.
Yeah, so like I said, I've done those big swims before, so I just needed to really do it again, and I'd never put in so much work and all those training camps to try achieve that. And then, so we did all that, 3 weeks out from Olympics trials, and then COVID happened. So everything got called off.
COVID.
Yeah, so all that work, 13 years.
So wait, it got called off completely?
Called off completely. We went into like our full lockdown, that initial 5 weeks lockdown.
And you stopped training? And
everything, like, you know, you couldn't do anything at all. You remember, we were all just stuck in our houses. You couldn't do anything. I was gymming at home, trying to make do, because we didn't know. We still actually don't even know
you
what's
use like
happening.
plastic bottles and groceries,
everything,
and whatever you can.
So that affected me in that way. Like, put all this work in, 13 years, and then it got called off 3 weeks out. And it was kind of like a bit upsetting for me, because I did want to, after that Olympic trials, depending on what happened, but at the end of 2020, I was going to. I don't like to say quit, because I'm not quitting. I'm moving on to new goals and a new part of my life, so I'll call it like
which
a retiring.
we are gonna touch on just now. But
Definitely. So I want to call it retiring. But because I wanted to start new things with my life, move on to the next chapter of my life. I've been doing it for a lot. I've been sacrificing a lot for swimming. So now, why it's affected me is because it's pushed my next chapter of my life and my goals and dream of owning my own businesses and things. It's now pushed that back a year. And I am a person who's young and hungry and wants to achieve what I've set out. So I know we have time and we must have patience, but I wanted to start it this year. And now COVID has obviously delayed that, and I'm definitely not going to be stopping swimming now, because I've put in way too much effort, sacrifice, blood, sweat, tears, the little cliche thing there, to just stop now. You know, I need to at least give it my shot. Like, I don't want to end on training. I just want to at least end on a gala, Olympic trials, and have something to show for all my hard work.
100%. And it's that concept of once you start, you don't stop. You just
so
get
I think
it
it's
done.
that mindset that I developed, like we spoke about earlier. So that just that determination. But at the same time, I'm also not complaining too much, because, you know, there's a lot of people that were affected a lot worse than I was by COVID. You know, we're talking about people starving, losing their jobs. In my family, just people lost their jobs and stuff. So I say it's how it affected me, but there's a lot worse out there. So I can't be too upset about it. But it has even affected me in that way as an athlete and things like that.
Well, bro, just on that, we look at our own circumstances, and maybe we play it down because of all the issues in the world and all the areas where I believe I can make an impact in, and you can make an impact in, and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that your feelings and the way you were affected doesn't mean something to you. Like, you're still allowed to feel affected and upset and stuff. But I do think it's very important to put it into context, because then we can use our position of privilege basically to go in and create impact
Yeah, no,
and
definitely.
everything. So now moving away from the sporting side, you're a man of many, call it talents.
So yeah.
You have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Andrew Brown Vlogs,
Andrew
which
Brown Vlogs.
actually something's coming very soon.
Yeah.
Do you want to start on that, or should we chat about it at the end?
We can chat about it now. At the end,
No,
whichever.
okay. So we're gonna collab again. Well, again, we're gonna collab.
Yeah.
On a bit of a giveaway to launch. I was supposed to be at the launch of my podcast, but we just delaying it a bit because we wanted to get the best materials and stuff.
Definitely.
So we're collabing on a giveaway. Do you want to
Yeah,
chat about it?
we got a little giveaway that we can do on the podcast. Yeah, on one of the podcasts. It's just nice shirts, caps, and all that. That you guys can enter the competition, win a few prizes.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it. If you guys are listening to this podcast, if you maybe see it on my YouTube channel, something like that, definitely worth checking out. I mean, who doesn't like free things? You know?
Exactly, and it's a way for us to give value back
Yeah,
at the
give value
beginning,
back.
just to
Give you
kind
guys
of leave
something
a
back, like a little bit of a thank you for supporting
Yes,
us,
exactly.
supporting my YouTube, supporting Richard on his journey. He's now starting, which is very exciting. By the way, I feel privileged to be on the first podcast.
Bro, thank you so much for being on. It's amazing.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
anyway, let's get back to the juicy details. So
Yeah,
you have a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Andrew Brown Vlogs, and you have how many followers at the moment?
So I got, it's not anything insane, 4,400 on rough numbers, like 390 something.
Yeah,
I check the stats every day.
100%. He's
I'm
just
obsessed with just looking
just
at it
looking,
every
yeah,
day.
it's okay.
Just that progress to see it every day. I think.
Yes,
that's
but you started how long ago did you start?
I initially started it 2 years ago, but properly now in June.
So
with COVID
you
and all
managed to get that progress, and you consistently getting close to like 900 views every video, and
Yeah.
it's building, and your YouTube is amazing. Like your work is hilarious, and you have great ideas. And but how did you go from being like swimming and very focused on swimming into like videography and
Yeah.
YouTube, and what kind of challenges did you have going into that to start off with?
Yeah, so that's another very good question. That's a whole journey on its own as well. I mean, I started, when I say 2 years ago, I just started the channel while I was studying. So I've got my business degree now. I finished that last year. I was studying, working for my dad at the time actually, doing the swimming. This is all out of high school. And then starting the YouTube channel, which was very tough. Like during exams and all that, I would sit down and be like, yo, I'm honestly taking on too much right now. Like the stress, the pressure, try to get a vlog out for people, get work done for my dad, make sure you're passing and getting your degree, and then the swimming pressure and being tired and like making sure you're training all the time, because there's no days off. There's no days off in training. Like we said, on that note, like when I told you we'll put all that effort in those training camps, I mean, last year I got literally Christmas off, the 25th and the 1st off, and that's it. Other than that, just train twice a day, every day. So yeah, so that journey was really tough, but what I really pushed through, because I wanted to start the building blocks of my YouTube channel while I was studying and swimming and first year varsity and all that. Because I also didn't live a normal student life, you know, maybe you boarding or at a res or something like that, and then you partying all the time. I didn't have that at all. A little bit because of the varsity I went to, and because of the swimming, like it doesn't allow that at all. So, you know, I just spend my time doing other things. Don't get me wrong, I love to party. Did that quite a bit, but
Yeah.
I used that time to work on my YouTube. And why I wanted to start it then is just so that after my degree and when I'm finished and doing what I'm doing now, I didn't start from scratch. You know, I'd rather eat shit in the beginning, take on all those tasks, really work on it, and then have something that, like, just build it off the ground a bit, you know.
That's profound. That's a profound statement.
Just so I've got a little head start when I'm wanting to get fully into it, and which is what I'm concentrating on now, and why I say I started it properly in June is because that's when I posted and stuck to my schedule of posting every single week. That's thanks to cousin Josh as well for helping me there behind the camera there, bro. Thanks, cousin Josh. Woo! Definitely, we working together, working on big things. So yeah, we started it then. Into it now, we've released 13 vlogs consecutively every week, every Wednesday. Getting full into it. I've got a decent amount of views. My one video has 160,000 views on YouTube. Then my second most is 30,000. And then from there, together, Josh and I just got our first, what we like to refer to as viral video, although it's not at all in the bigger picture, but it's on 14,000 views now. And then, like you said, we get, depending on how old the videos are, around over 1,000 and then 900 if they're newer.
Like consistently.
Consistently.
Throughout.
So,
and it's good content. Go check him out. Definitely. Andrew Brown. What's Andrew Brown vlog? Yes, 100%.
That's become a thing now. Everyone jokes on my outro. It's like Andrew Brown vlog.
Yes, 100%.
But yeah, so we're working on that. I mean, I meet so many people, and so many people reach out to me, and it's actually surprising how many people watch my content.
Yeah.
And reach out to me in DMs and things like that, and they and it's kind of what I've seen, but there's no South African vloggers and stuff like that. Not that I at least know of, because I mean, when we see YouTubers and all that, we always see overseas things. We always see America. Oh, America, big and great. Not saying that they're not, but you see America, you see the UK, but like nothing for South Africa. And I really, my dream for YouTube is to be South Africa's most recognized vlogger, just because I don't know who else is out there, and that's the problem. Like, we can't see who's out there because we just like, it's oversaturated by these bigger YouTubers that are out there that we concentrate on, that are in America or wherever they are. So dream to be the most recognized South African vlogger / YouTuber. That's my long-term goal for YouTube that we're working towards, and we got our short-term goals, everything in place. We've really set it up and running it properly, Josh and I, working towards our goals. So yeah, so that's a bit of
things coming.
So yeah, it's nice to see a bit of a payoff, because I mean, like when I say in my first year of varsity, it really was tough to manage all those things. Like, you can imagine training twice a day, trying to do videos, edit them by myself, because back then I didn't have Josh helping me. We weren't working together. Then working for my dad, swimming, like, it was tough. So
was that why the videos were worse back then?
Yeah, and now they're better because
he's a
proper guy on board.
No, I'm joking. And now, speaking about YouTube, so I want to dive a bit more into YouTube specifically, because we met for coffee, I think it was last week, and you told me about a fact. You said something like, well, I've got it here, I'm going to pull it up, where it says 75% of children now want to become YouTubers. So I think it's a very, very, like, call it... there's opportunity to get into, especially now you're saying, because in South Africa there's not many recognized, and I can say personally I don't really know of many that do it to the same like scale as overseas and stuff like that. I do know of a few vloggers and their content's really good, but no one's really launched into that like you said. I feel like all South Africans kind of put those people on a pedestal, and they're like,
not taking anything away from them.
No, obviously. 100%, but it's like they look there and they think they can't. It's only for Americans, or it's only for the European people.
That's exactly why I say I want to put like South Africa on the board for it.
Yes, 100%.
I just want to show that we can also achieve greatness as South Africans. We mustn't be held back, or like mentally as well. We mustn't hold ourselves back thinking we can't do it because they need a certain country or certain people or whatever. Like, bro, we won the World Cup. Like, as a country, we're great. Like, we mustn't underestimate ourselves.
It's kind of like, they see rugby, we're amazing. Everything else, we kind of like...
But we've got like Olympic athletes, we've got businesses and everything. Like, there's a lot that we've got going on here in South Africa, and we just need to... I think the thing is that like America and all that, they just like show it very well. They like promote it, like, we're the greatest, we've got this and this, whereas we've got a lot of those things, we just don't maybe promote it as much. We're a bit more... quiet, humble about it. I don't know.
Maybe it's that, and I've always said as well, this country is so beautiful, and the people in this country, like, I mean, I've had the privilege of traveling all around South Africa, and speaking to a lot of different people in a lot of different cities and a lot of different cultures, and dude, we have some amazing people, and it's almost like there's been this, I don't want to get political or whatever, but there's been this air of negativity that's just been put on our country, and people kind of forget about the positive aspects of it, and they just focus on the negative aspects. And whether, again, it's personal preference and
Yeah.
personal opinion, whether that negative outweighs the positive, it's
Yeah,
all your
yeah,
choice.
Yeah.
But like you said, you can't control that. Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't limit what you want to do in your life and in
Yeah.
this country.
But that's why I say, like, when I was swimming and all that, going to varsities, what we do at our club is we get scholarships and all of that's over to America, because they do have the facilities where it's swimming and your studying is mixed. They got like a whole proper program.
Yeah,
Similar to what they have
Carl
at
went
Tux,
there. Yeah.
Similar to what they have at Tux and Stellenbosch and all that. America's doing on a lot bigger scale, and obviously the developed country, all that's been around longer, been in that program longer. So I had the opportunity to go over to America, study there, swim on a whole program, on a scholarship, things like that, which a lot of my friends do, and they've done, and they're there currently, and some have come back already. They finished their degrees, but I wasn't interested at all. Like, for those reasons you touched on, I absolutely love our country. I love the people. I love the opportunities. I love just the land in general, the whole vibe of South Africa. I don't know. I just didn't want to leave because I love that, and knowing that I wanted to start my own businesses and everything here in South Africa. Like they say, it's the land of opportunity and that. And like we said with YouTube, I feel like there is an opportunity because people don't know South African YouTubers that well. They are. Not saying that they aren't out there. They definitely are. But like in terms of vloggers and this, that, like when people see me, I don't regard myself as a big YouTuber at all. Like 4,000 subscribers really isn't that big. But when people see me and everything like that, they get so excited just to see a South African YouTuber and vlogger. Like the DMs, the comments, people come up to me in person. Like for me, that's crazy. Like people recognizing me like that.
100%.
But it just shows like people are proud and proudly South African, and that's why I really think there's an opportunity in that. But it definitely is. I think maybe the reason towards it is very, very tough. Like a lot of people say YouTube's very like oversaturated.
That was my next question. I was going to chat a bit about, again, when we met for coffee, you were speaking about that algorithm, because obviously YouTube is something I'm trying to get this podcast on, and I'm going to use it as a platform or whatever. But you said there's a certain way you're supposed to post your videos, how you tag it, all that type of stuff, and so that helps. And obviously you had to learn that.
Yeah, so that was all self-taught, all my editing and everything, all self-taught. But yeah, it's a big thing to get into. YouTube is the hardest, in my personal opinion. I think there is a fact saying it, but in my personal opinion, the hardest social media or platform. Let's research it. Yeah. I'll be actually very interested. But out of my own experience, the hardest platform to get onto and build a subscriber base, a following, things like that. Because I mean, I posted on TikTok. During lockdown, I posted on TikTok, and within 2 months, I actually had one video on TikTok that's got over 500,000 views. And
that's mad.
Within 2 months, I passed my amount of followers on TikTok. I passed that compared to my YouTube channel. Like I was on like 6,000 TikTok followers, and I was only at the time 3,000 YouTube subscribers.
I wonder why.
And within 2 months, and I've been doing YouTube for 2 years.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's just because
it's different? It was a new platform.
Okay.
The eyes coming onto TikTok because people were in lockdown. They had nothing to do. I mean, what do? People were posting different algorithms. Your videos get recognized a lot easier. I'm not like an algorithm expert, but I have had to learn it a bit for what I do, because you can't obviously just go in there blindly like any. I don't refer to it as necessarily a business, but you can make a business reference that you can't just go into like any business venture blind, you know?
Well, it's kind of like, it is a personal brand. Like your YouTube channel becomes your personal brand. Like you said with Andrew Brown Vlogs, it becomes this brand. And like even if we speak about people overseas, like Logan Paul, he's his own brand now. There's a couple others that are just, it's not in my head now, but you use it as a personal brand, and then you can launch other things from it, which is our next call it pathway. Yes, he's got another pathway if you don't believe it, but you also a very talented like cinematographer, videographer. You guys you did the opening video for this channel, which came out amazing.
Thank you.
Drop a like on that video if you agree.
Definitely, guys, go check it
leave
out.
a comment, definitely check it out. And you're also going to be the videographer at my wedding at the end of this year, which very excited to obviously to work with you. But into that aspect, did you start with YouTube first and then go on to videography, or did you start with videography and then go into YouTube?
So I actually started on YouTube first. The reason for actually starting YouTube was when I was swimming, and like during the holidays we'd swim twice a day. You couldn't do anything else during the day. You could hardly even see your friends in that, because it's just like where the swimming was in the afternoon would just clash with everything. So I was kind of sick of just going home from morning training, playing Xbox, waiting for the afternoon session, then going to afternoon session, coming back, and then you're tired and you go to bed, and then you just rinse and repeat that. Like, it doesn't sound very fun and insane, especially if you're young, you know. Want to experience a few things, so that's why I started the YouTube, because it actually then pushed me to try new things, adventure into new things. At this time, I didn't actually even know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to start my own businesses, I just didn't know what. And I thought, let me try YouTube, because it's just going to let me experience different things, do things I would never normally do. And from there, I just fell in love with YouTube. Trying different things, experiencing a whole lot of like things I would never have done. So I love that. And then instead of like using YouTube to experience things and then going venturing into that, I actually just ended up loving YouTube and the whole thing of just trying new things, which then led to getting into like professional video work and all that.
So now into that, so did you, obviously starting with YouTube and getting into professional videography and cinematography, there has to be a bit of a jump. So did you go into like a course to do it, or and how did you because that equipment, I'm sure it's like
it's very expensive,
pricey. So how did you sit with a YouTube channel, which I'm assuming, did you start with your phone or did you have a camera already?
I had a camera already.
Okay, so you had a camera already, but was it like an entry level?
Very entry level.
So how did you sit there with this camera and be like, nah, okay, I'm gonna get into videography, I'm gonna work my way up to what you currently have, which is very, obviously you said you still want to get, well, in our chat you said you want to get more expensive equipment and stuff, but what you have now is a lot more than what you had back then.
Definitely. So it started off with, I did the videos and all that, and then people actually saw my videos and they said, like, can you come do this video for us, and we'll pay you for it. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't really think of that.
It's from YouTube.
So they saw that.
Ladies and gentlemen, YouTube is kind of, even though it's the hardest platform to get engagement and followers and stuff, people watch. And
it's opened so many doors,
if you're
so many
good,
opportunities.
There you go.
And I don't even reference my YouTube videos to my professional branded work now, because it's, to me, two completely different things. Like on YouTube, I'm clowning around, trying to entertain, coming up with funny ideas, and the branded side of things, which is what I call it, I keep it fully professional and all that. So I have my own portfolio of professional videos. I keep them two separate things, but what's quite nice to talk about equipment and that is I see it as one investment into two separate businesses.
I see. Smart. That's very smart.
So that's how I see it. But like we said in the beginning, I started off with the worst of the worst, and you got to start somewhere. Some people may have the best things in that, but on that note, like my parents also weren't those parents that just like bought me anything I wanted. Everything I had when I was a child, I worked for. Like if I had quite a few motorbikes, quite a few paintball guns, my Xboxes.
Josh knows about that.
He got.
If you don't know what I'm speaking about,
you gotta
go watch his most recent. It's not the most recent one. It's the second. Second most recent one. Go watch that.
But that was funny. With paintball guns, anything I owned, I bought myself, and I did it by, like, I remember I had a PS2 that didn't actually even work properly that I got given from my aunt, and I wanted an Xbox 360. Now my parents weren't just going to buy me an Xbox 360. I had a whole lot of PS2 games, put them in my backpack, drove on my bicycle around the neighborhood, ringing up people's doorbells to sell them these PS2 games. Sold all my PS2 games like that, made enough money, bought my Xbox 360.
So did you do the same concept with working up towards your cameras, or did you save, so saving combined with selling and stuff like that?
So then when it came to high school and that, same thing. I actually used to sell shoes and stuff like that. So I've always had like a little business, like little side things just to make money, because I wouldn't always get like the things I wanted or the things I needed. And then if it came to, even now, like when there's Christmas, birthdays, all this, that, it's just straight into equipment, straight into gear. Even money that I generate now from professional work, reinvested straight away. YouTube videos, even money I get from the professional work, I put into my YouTube videos. Like I'm about to drop so much money on buying stupid gummy bears for a video. I mean, like some of the
is
YouTube
that a
videos,
hint?
Yeah,
Is that a hint?
coming soon.
Okay.
There's some of the YouTube videos and ideas can cost quite a lot of money.
Can imagine, dude.
But on the gear as well, also it's crazy expensive. I think that's why videography in general is just so expensive. The equipment, the softwares, every little thing, and the time it takes, depending on like how good the edit is or how complicated the edit is. It can take a really long to edit a certain video, cinematic edit.
So that was my next route. This guy's just good with the flow, eh? You flow right into what I was going to speak
Into
to.
what you were gonna say.
Next what I was going to chat about was the pricing. So generally, because obviously I'm getting married, so Jamie and I are busy planning our wedding. And what you want with your wedding is a photographer and a videographer and stuff. And so what you do is standard Google videographer and stuff, and you see very interesting figures when that comes up. So I wanted to chat about the valuation of it, and we don't have to compare it with photography. We can kind of, because that's a debate for itself. So we can kind of have it as one item. So in your opinion, obviously it's all opinion based, the value that they charge, because for some that goes up to like 25 grand for a day and stuff like that. So is that value justified for what you do? So like I want you to explain a bit more about how tough it is to get into videography and stuff like that, and why the price point is so high.
Well, I think also, it depends on the videographer, the editors, the value they can present you with. Because I mean, that has to, if you're charging 25 grand for something, you got to like show something for it. You got to back it up with something. So all prices also vary. How we work is on a half day rate and full day rate of videography and recording, and then we got a editor's rate as well, depending on the projects, and it also changes depending on what the type of project is, who the client is, things like that. So you can be quite price competitive. It also just depends. People might want to actually pick you because they don't mind paying maybe 2,000 rand more for a better product or product that they like, or maybe they're more comfortable or know you as a videographer compared to someone who's cheaper or something like that. Or I can literally, someone may charge 17,000 rand for a wedding video, and I'll say, cool, I'll do it for 1,000 just because I can.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the value you've put on it, and it's how you value your time.
I could probably say like I will produce that same quality and that, but I'll do it for 1,000 rand. Like, wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, but I mean, because with it, you just have to make sure you're paying your equipment off, because I mean, you get into equipment that's with a lens, a right lens, and the camera can be up to like 100 grand.
You said the lens on, not this. Is it this camera or the other camera?
No, it's my other lens. So it was more expensive than my actual camera. So it's you gotta pay that off, and you also gotta know your time and that, because it can take really long. And I don't know how other people work, but I don't work like 9 to 5. I don't know how other editors work and videographers, but maybe you should put a cap on it, because I am relatively new to it. But I work, if you need your video tomorrow, I'm not going to be like, no, sorry, I can't do that. I work from 9 to 5 editing. It's like, okay, I'll incorporate that into the price, but I'm editing the whole night. If you need a video turnover that quick, then there's no like, oh, sorry, I can't, my work hours. It's, for me, it's no, you're working, you're not going to bed then.
But it's your passion as well, so you want to get that done.
Yeah, passion, 100%. And I think that represents in your videos. You got that passion, the creative thought. That's what's just so nice about video. So I've been call it professional athlete. No, you can't say professional athlete because I don't get paid a salary. High level performing athlete, whatever.
So on the cusp. On the cusp, yes.
I've actually been paid every now and then, but not like a salary from it. But being a competitive athlete all these years, you build a competitive personality around it, and you have to be, and you're almost like a bit like aggressive towards it. But with video and videography and YouTube, for me it's a complete opposite, and I am a competitive person. But for me, it's like, instead of saying, no, I'm gonna compete with this person, I'm almost like, oh, we can work together. Let's help each other out, or something like that. Like, I see it as, they're a creator, I'm a creator. I'm not competing against you. I'm in my own lane, doing my own thing. Especially on YouTube, that's how I see it.
And it's kind of like you both have the same vision to want to add value to people, whether it's entertainment or they can watch your same.
Yeah, in this industry, you do collabs, like what we do now.
100%.
You do collabs, you help each other out, build each other up. Whereas if you're an athlete or something, you're competing and you want to beat them, and this way's here, you're almost working together, collabs.
And you get to meet a lot of different people. And speaking of collabs, you've done work for a couple of very well-known brands. I think Fila is probably your biggest there. So was that was this past year or last year?
It was December.
There.
So that's where a bit of the competitive thing come out. Just touching on that, because like I said, I upgraded my gear and that, but I still, when I was filming that, I ordered a whole lot of gear from America, which hadn't come through yet, just because it was cheaper. Nothing against South Africa. It was just cheaper. I got to be smart about it, because this gear is really expensive, especially like we're still young and all that, so we don't have like tons of money to throw at it. But I didn't have all my equipment from America yet, and I still made it happen. And here I am filming with like minimal gear for this huge company, and then I got these other guys which have been doing it for years with all their big expensive gears, like watching me, talking to me, and like comparing the gear and that. And here I'm embarrassed with my gear, and I just remember that, because I thought in my head, like, they're probably laughing at me because of my gear right now, but I'm making sure I make a better edit than them, or maybe not a better edit, which I think I could have made a better edit.
No, say it, dude. It was a better edit. 100%.
But I was determined to make a better edit than them, and just make sure like I could prove them wrong. Like, you can laugh at, even though they didn't laugh, I just could, you sense, like, because I was using like not the best things. Although you don't, like, if you get into this kind of industry, there's always videos and people saying, like, you just need to start. You don't need the best on anything. Like, you just need to start.
I want to touch on that as well, in terms of knowing yourself, knowing what you want to achieve, and not letting other people kind of talk you down and put limitations. Like, they could have been like, oh, bro, why are you even here? Why are you using this camera? It's terrible. But then I don't know can you see the edits? Is it online somewhere, or...
Who, my edit?
Your edit.
Yeah, it's on my Instagram. You guys can
check it out. It's sick. It is so sick. And you must have put so much hours into it.
A lot of hours,
and you said that was with minimal equipment.
Equipment.
It just shows you what you can do if you believe in yourself. Like,
definitely.
It's incredible.
It's just, guys, my biggest message to you would probably be just to start. That's the thing. You don't need all these big fancy things. You just need to start. And I think that's what demotivates people. They think they need all this big fancy thing because they watch people, and like, we go back to big famous YouTubers or podcasts or something, they have all the best gear, but that's because they've worked their way up to it. They also, in the beginning, didn't always have the best things. You got to work your way up to it, and you can do it with minimal gear.
You
just got to believe in yourself, confidence. That's the only time in video I was a bit competitive, because I just thought, like, no, I'm going to prove these people wrong, that I can make it happen.
But that's positive competitive. You didn't let the competitive nature completely throw you off. Like, you could be so absorbed into being competitive that you completely stray from what your initial mission was and what your initial, like, value was.
No, and 100%. And I also don't want to know, like, nothing towards them or anything.
No, 100%.
Just like believing in myself, making sure I also, for the company, provide like a good quality product, and then I can also use it, and other people can see and be like, okay, this is what he can do. This is good. We want to use him. So it's also just for myself to make sure, because it's like a representation of me and what I can provide and things like that. So yeah, got to make sure it's 100%.
And that was well said. So to finish off, sorry, bro. What is a little bit, bro? It's very intimidating. Next to this guy is trying to reshape the YouTube environment for South Africa while running a vlog, while trying to swim in the Olympics. It's very intimidating. So what is one question that I should have asked you that I didn't, or rather should I say, so that, but if you could give one bit of like insight into, like I said earlier, what drives you during your times of struggle, or what motto have you kept by throughout your life?
Okay. What you haven't asked me, I don't think there's anything. Like, we've even used what you stand for in Meta and most effective tactics available. That is,
Yeah, which
we've
will be timestamped.
We've used that within the questions, and we've related it to what I've said and done in my life. But my biggest message and everything and what I believe in is, I don't believe in a lot, but I definitely believe that everything happens for a reason. With the whole COVID thing and how it affected me, it's funny story, because when people ask if I was going to make Olympics, like, I didn't 100% say yes, because I knew I had the swim I had to do and the big swim I had to put in to make it. But I always said to them, you know, if I just had another year, I'd be more confident in saying yes to you. Here's my another year. Here's my second chance. Here's the year that I said to people, oh, just give it to me and I'll make it happen. And now the whole world's like, here it is.
Go make it happen.
That, and at the same time, with COVID happening, that's when I started my businesses. I started fully into my videography business and my YouTube, both of them at a time.
That's a very important point, which is during times of indecisiveness and in fear, in struggle, you look for opportunities, and that's a big takeaway from here. Yeah. But anyway, carry on.
So that's exactly what I did. In those tough times, I just made it happen, made it work, and see the opportunity in it. And I didn't let it, like, obviously it affected me. Like, for like a week or two, I sat there like so upset, because like my dreams and goals had just been crushed after all this hard work. So I was a bit upset. It took me 2 weeks max. From then, screwed my head back on and worked towards my dreams again. But just in a different aspect, like in terms of video and YouTube. And I just had then that commitment, just shifted it straight into my videos, made it happen. And yeah, like you said, looking for those opportunities in tough times, when times are dark, and it may not seem like there's light at the end of the tunnel, but there always is.
Very well said, man. Very well said. But anyway, if people want to connect with you, check you out on social media, where you most likely to be able to connect with them?
So YouTube, I reply to every single one of my comments. That's one thing I pride myself on. I do make sure I do that. People also can DM me on Instagram if you want to find out anything. So pretty much always reply to all my DMs on Instagram and that. And yes, so if they see me in person, I love meeting you guys in person. They come to me, they know me from YouTube, but sometimes they're a bit shy in person. I love meeting you guys. Awesome. It's crazy for you guys to be watching my videos and be like, hey, you Andrew Brown. I'll be like, wait, what? Like, it's I don't know, it's really heartwarming experience for me. I love meeting you guys. So YouTube, Instagram. That's my two main ones. Like, you can go check out my TikTok if you want. If you want just some stupid videos.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Awesome, man. So guys, if you enjoyed this episode, the very first video recording, please leave a like, share with as many people as possible. Go check out Andrew's content. It's really worth it. It's amazing what he's doing and what he's trying to do. And he's given us some insight into the mentality of pushing through and striving to achieve what you've set for yourself. And I'm definitely taking away a lot of positives from this episode, and I believe you can as well. And yeah, share this with as many people as possible, and let's keep on building this community, keep striving, keep thriving in times of struggle.
Getting those insights, bro.
You
can always learn, guys.
There we go.
Always learning.
Anyway,
but yeah, thank you so much for having me as well.
Thanks so much for being on here.
Definitely.
And who knows, maybe we have another one down the line.
Hopefully,
there's still a lot we haven't chatted on.
Hopefully, down the line, I can tell you guys about my progress and what I learned from now.
Yeah, look forward to that. Anyway,
see you guys. Cheers.